Welcome to an enlightening journey. This educational content offers challenging insights. Approach with an open mind. The link for the study guide can be found in the description. Subscribe to join the exploration. Let's dive in without wasting time. Mindset Discipline. Chapter 1. Introduction. Discipline is self-control. Baumeister, Tice, and Vohs, 2007. State that self-control is the ability to control yourself in order to follow the right path or avoid conventional adverse outcomes that may satisfy desires or maintain them. Discipline is often associated with difficult tasks, and sometimes the concept of discipline is also closely related to sacrifice. People with high self-control tend to sacrifice many things to maintain their controlled behavior. Sacrifice is not only a conscious activity, but also involves automatic processes that involve mental control. People will change their thinking patterns, avoid improper behavior, and control their emotions. Baumeister, 2003. The brain and strength are required to have high self-control or discipline. The more often someone engages in mental and physical exercises to control themselves, the more they will become accustomed to behaving in a controlled manner, which will be associated with a disciplined personality. When you arrive at a meeting, the first thing you think about is why you are there. Then, you will start to manipulate yourself and think negatively. For example, the meeting is so boring, or I want to go home quickly. When you start thinking like that, your mindset is not focused on the meeting. With discipline in mind, you have to control your thoughts, block the negative thoughts, and start thinking positively. Discipline in mind also affects decision-making. Because sometimes when we are emotionally unstable, we can make irrational decisions that might impact our lives. By having discipline in mind, we will filter the information received, be rational, and be in a more balanced emotional state. Therefore, we can make decisions with mature consideration. Mindset discipline controls our thoughts and feelings to stay aligned with the rational side and make decisions based on logical thinking. Definition of mindset discipline. Mindset discipline begins with understanding that the driving force of our actions, feelings, and thoughts is belief. Our beliefs have a profound effect on everything we do. With mindset discipline, we can develop self-awareness that provides an understanding of the beliefs that drive our actions. A person with mindset discipline recognizes that actions are driven by emotions. Emotions are driven by thoughts, and thoughts are driven by our beliefs. In order to change an action, we must focus on trying to understand the beliefs that led to the action. In most cases, individuals are not aware of the beliefs or thoughts that lead them to an action. A person who is resolved to enact a change of self-conduct has a purpose to change an action and is willing to consider carefully the belief that led to the old action. By noticing an undesired action and tracing the belief back to the action, this individual can gain an understanding of the cause and effect relationship between thought and action. This understanding can eventually lead to a change of belief through replacement of the old belief with a belief that gives a different desired result. This process is long and arduous, but with persistence and patience, it can lead to a profound change in behavior. A mindset discipline is an inner attitude activation based on growth, learning, and constructive action in any given set of life conditions. It's about shifting from a static mindset to one that is dynamic. A static mindset is one in which you view your intelligence and abilities as fixed. In this view, you believe that your current intelligence and abilities cannot be changed. In a static mindset, students strive to look smart at all times and do not view struggle as a positive element of the learning process. A dynamic mindset is one in which you believe that your intelligence and abilities can be developed. In this view, you are a person who is a growing, changing entity who can cultivate and grow your intelligence and abilities through learning, effort, and challenge. A person with a dynamic mindset will embrace struggle as a necessary part of the learning process. A person with a fixed mindset avoids challenges in order to maintain an aura of being smart, which is actually an indication of the person's low confidence levels. An individual's mindset is not an intrinsic attribute. It's a belief that can be changed through effort, persistence, and intention in order to improve at a given task. Importance of mindset discipline. Your mindset dictates everything you think, and the way you think is the precursor to the way you act. Therefore, having the self-discipline to master your mind is the foundation of any kind of success. Without mental mastery, your emotions will be in the driver's seat, and your life will be a roller coaster of highs and lows. When you are able to make the conscious choice to direct your thinking in a specific direction, you have the ability to regulate your emotions and vary your emotional responses to the many different events that occurred in your life. This does not mean hiding, repressing, or avoiding how you feel. Rather, it is the ability to fully experience and express an emotion of your choosing at the right time and place. Cognitive functioning is also influenced through mood and emotions. Most of us can think of a time when we were so angry or anxious that we couldn't think straight. By regulating your emotions, you are better able to manage your mood and thus have the ability to think optimally in any situation. A major part of self-discipline involves delaying immediate results for a greater reward in the future. Diets, regular exercise programs, setting aside money, and working towards a long-term goal all require the ability to forego instant gratification for what is truly better in the long run. All these things contribute to leading a healthy, fulfilling lifestyle. High achievers exhibit a high level of determination and self-confidence in their ability to succeed. With mindset mastery, there is a certain sense of self-assuredness and a confidence in knowing that you are the architect of your life. By developing mindset discipline, you are in control of yourself and thus in control of your quality of life. Knowing its importance, William James is quoted as saying, "The hell to be endured hereafter, of which theology tells, is no worse than the hell we make for ourselves in this world by habitually fashioning our characters." Benefits of developing mindset discipline. The first benefit is impulse control. A person with good impulse control resists temptations. They think before acting. They consider the consequences of their behavior before doing something which may hurt themselves or others. Impulsive individuals may have the right intentions, but they are unable to carry them out due to lack of control. They may want to perform an achievement task, yet give up easily because it is too difficult. They may want to save money, yet spend it instead. Developing discipline involves changing patterns of behavior, and it is clear that impulse control involves a change to considering more options before settling upon the usual. With the development of discipline comes the improvement of impulse control. In developing mindset discipline, numerous advantages arise. They are the natural consequences of developing the skills and qualities which are relevant to nurturing said discipline. They are also useful as a means for gauging the level of discipline possessed by an individual. If someone is having trouble determining or seeing the level to which they possess discipline of any form, comparing their behavior to the description of the benefits below will provide an accurate indication. Chapter 2. Understanding Mindset. A proper mental mindset is one of the most crucial aspects to self-discipline. Once you have a definite goal, the fitting mindset will take you there. The first step is to abandon the quick fix mentality. Those who look for quick fixes have an urge for immediate gratification. They do not recognize that building a solid foundation of discipline will pay off in the long run. Instead, they look for the easy way out expecting immediate results, and as a result, fail to achieve anything of substance. This manner of thinking is the root of the problem for these people and must be changed in order to develop self-discipline. Oftentimes, the reason for looking for the quick fix is taking on a goal that is too ambitious. It is good to have long-term goals, but many smaller short-term goals must be accomplished on the way to the long-term goal. Those with a weak sense of discipline will often attempt to accomplish the short-term goals quickly in order to reach the long-term goal as soon as possible. This habit is counterproductive as the short-term goals will not be properly completed and can have adverse effects on the long-term goal. This ties in with the inability to delay gratification, another characteristic of those with low self-discipline. Such people are unable or unwilling to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term goals. Although it is a rough road, the best way is to start taking smaller steps towards your goal, while delaying the reward until the goal has been fully accomplished. This is the essence of self-discipline, and is the opposite of what those with a quick-fix mentality do. By making the conscious effort to change this habit and mentality, one can slowly move towards a better mindset and greater self-discipline. Different types of mindsets. In Pascal's wager, it is discussed the possible mindsets that humans can take when making a decision. A good description of the fixed mindset is given here. It is said that those who believe in God and live their life according to His wishes have nothing to lose. They can live a fulfilling life on earth and be rewarded with an eternity in heaven. Those who live their life according to God's wishes actually give themselves a higher chance of getting what they want, because religious doctrines can be seen as guidelines to a good life. The implications of this can be connected to the fixed mindset in the sense that someone who lives their life according to predetermined doctrine does so in the belief that it is already decided what will become of them. Those who live a life of sin and repent shortly before their death can see their life as a strategic move in order to get what they want, a heaven. The wager provides a contrast between those who believe and those who disbelieve in God. An argument can be made that those who believe are doing so because they are seeking a better way of life, or because the atonement of their current life is too hard to bear. In this case, the fixed mindset is the belief that the decision to follow a certain path is based around the belief that it is an easier way of attaining a desired lifestyle or goal. Characteristics of a disciplined mindset. The characteristics of a disciplined mindset relate to the level of focus, determination, and self-regulation the person has over his or her behavior. One who possesses a disciplined mindset is more likely to be intrinsically motivated and passionate about the work they are doing. They will also be able to set more defined, process-oriented, long and short-term goals, and they will be more likely to remain focused on these goals. This is compared to a non-disciplined mindset in which the person is more likely to be extrinsically motivated, have a greater desire for a social and material lifestyle, and have a more fleeting or vague sense of purpose. A non-disciplined mindset can be compared to having a scattered or unfocused pattern of thought, in which there is less control and direction over behavior. The etymology of the word discipline comes from the Latin word disciplina, meaning instruction, knowledge. The mental attributes of a disciplined person can be thought of as the settings and operating system of a computer. The person has a higher degree of control over their thoughts, feelings, and actions, and they are more capable of developing effective habits. The disciplined person has a strong belief in their ability to succeed in achieving their desired outcome, and this belief provides them with confidence, comfort in times of failure, and resilience. The person devotes more time into planning and preparedness, and they are less likely to act on impulse or seek immediate gratification. Chapter 3. Developing Mindset Discipline. According to Dr. Robert Vallerand, there are two types of motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic. With a combination of intrinsic motivation, which is doing an activity for the pleasure it will bring, and extrinsic motivation, which is doing it to attain or avoid a certain outcome, it will lead to self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to make a consistent effort and commitment to one's activities. Based on his own research, Dr. Vallerand states that if an activity is being done because of the pressures of others, or if the person feels it's not enjoyable, it can lead to high levels of anxiety and is a risk for cessation of the activity. He has also stated the negative effects of extrinsic motivation, doing an activity to avoid a certain outcome. These cases are linked to feelings of resentment and can also contribute to anxiety and stress. By changing the types of motivation to make all activity in the self-interest of the person, it will have a positive effect on emotions and lead to more stable levels of motivation for the activity. This can be summarized in an equation of A for achievement. When we consider both high and stable combined with good feelings during and after the activity, it is going to lead to long positive involvement. Cultivating a growth mindset literally means trying to change your fixed beliefs to beliefs regarding yourself and life that can be improved. This leads to changed behaviors and builds the path to a more successful, fulfilling life, says Carol Dweck. In order to change these beliefs, it would be necessary to take on learning and new challenges, tasks that would be for personal development. Any mistake or failure that occurs is a learning experience and not a judgment on the individual self. There is no harm in getting things wrong, and it should be viewed in this way. Listening to constructive criticism and using the feedback to improve is also a huge factor. A fixed mindset comes from limiting beliefs, which are generalized, and viewing them as truth. This can restrict you in many aspects of life. Imagine a belief such as, "I'm an idiot." This will affect you in numerous ways, such as not putting your opinion across at work because you feel it's not good enough. It will restrict you from taking a chance at something different out of fear of looking stupid. And it will ultimately create negative emotions such as anger, regret, and sadness. These beliefs need to be brought to the surface and questioned. Is it really true that I'm an idiot? Is there no evidence of a time that proves it wrong? Change the belief to a more realistic view of yourself. Identifying limiting beliefs. With an example of a fixed mindset, an alternative example can be set with a growth mindset. A growth mindset is based on the belief that one's basic qualities can be cultivated through effort. An example for this would be a time when a person was praised for an effort following a failure. The praise will have felt good, and most importantly, it is understood that development has occurred from understanding the nature of the failure and the putting right of the mistake to gain success. By drawing a comparison, it can be noted that throughout any situation, the mindset defines the meaning of the event and the ensuing quality of the experience. In knowing this, it is clear that understanding beliefs is a key factor in understanding mindset, and that a commitment to understanding the impact of beliefs can lead to changes in behavior. A belief is not an idea held by the mind. It is an idea that holds the mind. Many people are unaware of what their beliefs are, but those who have observed emotions and actions derived from various situations will be able to construct a link between the belief and the resulting behavior. A person caught in a fixed mindset will automatically believe in their basic qualities, such as intelligence and talents. In this mindset, intelligence is something one has to prove time and time again. This belief can be identified by the action taken following mistakes. It is common for individuals to become defensive and point to an external factor rather than admit and correct a deficiency. In this case, the belief has triggered emotion in the form of wounded pride and has hindered a learning process. The belief that intelligence should be proven and the corresponding reaction could well be a cause for the low feeling mentioned previously. By taking a step back to such a point where the negative emotion or feeling began, there will now be a clear example of a fixed mindset. This marker can aid a turning point in mindset discipline by understanding that the belief has taken you to a place you don't want to be and is not something that has benefited you. Practicing self-discipline. Self-discipline is a desire to do what is best for oneself and to act accordingly. A person with a great control over self-discipline is generally a happier person than one who lacks it. However, developing self-discipline is challenging for most people. A person with mastery over self-discipline has the ability to make and keep promises to themselves. They are able to stay on track and avoid distractions. Their decisions are based on their goals and not on how they feel at the present moment. Self-discipline demands repeated practice and gradual improvement. Self-discipline also means self-control, and it is a sign of inner strength. It helps to act with a sense of purpose and allows a person to be the master of their own. A person who is well-disciplined is usually more successful in life as they are able to maintain focus. Cultivating a growth mindset. In identifying limiting beliefs, it is essential to look at the unconscious assumptions that guide our lives. Just because something is true for you doesn't mean it is true for everyone, and this is very relevant when looking at beliefs. A belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. Beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Human beings have the awesome ability to take any experience of their lives and create a meaning that disempowers them or one that can literally save their lives. The process of examining beliefs takes time and effort, but is an essential stage in developing the mindset discipline. The first step would be to identify times when you felt low and begin to reflect upon what was said to cause this low feeling. Think of an event which could have led to the feeling and what the event says about your abilities as a person. It is crucial to call to mind a specific example, as generalizations are a form of limiting belief. A generalization is something which is often communicated as always or never, and suggestions about abilities, personality, and invoke emotional states are classified as beliefs. Finally, beliefs can be revealed by how we act. It is often said that there is a link between beliefs and reality, and this can be true for positive and negative beliefs. If this is true, there will be evidence to support the belief, and so it is important to consider whether or not what we see as evidence is fact. For each belief, ask yourself, is this always true? By this time, you will have a greater understanding of self-discipline and what role it plays in your life. You have also identified your limiting beliefs that hold you back from attempting change. The next step is to develop a growth mindset. This is the belief that you can cultivate basic abilities through dedication and hard work. The first thing that must be done is to become aware of your fixed mindset and to begin to recognize it in action. Consider the last time you faced a challenge. Think about it and write down answers to the following questions. 1. Did you give up without really trying? 2. Did you become defensive or feel angry when criticized? 3. Did you believe that this task was beyond you? 4. Did you feel that you were just not sort of person? Has this questionnaire highlighted a fixed mindset for the challenge you faced? How can it be tackled differently if a growth mindset were adopted? Building a support system. Learning communities and like-minded peers. Learning communities can be formal or informal groups with a focus on learning and development of their members. This could be a group of people following the same personal development program, but can also include groups such as a team of sports coaches wanting to improve their coaching abilities. Another example is the learning communities that you find on internet forums and blogs. In the absence of formal learning communities, it is simply a case of surrounding yourself with like-minded peers. These are people with a similar focus on personal development and people that you can form mutually beneficial relationships with. An example might be an agreement with a friend to spend an hour a week discussing and setting goals for your personal development. A coach or mentor. A coach or mentor is someone that has the specific role of supporting your ongoing learning and development. They are not there to provide answers, but to ask you the right questions and to guide you in finding your own solutions. It is a coach's job to empower you to make your own changes, and a good coach will be very effective in helping you to see the changes that need to be made. A mentor often plays a similar role, but will generally provide more direct guidance and share experiences from their own learning and development. Both a coach and a mentor can be very valuable in helping to maintain mindset discipline. The people around you. Are the people around you helping or hindering your ongoing personal development? It is a simple question, but one that is worth taking stock of. Identifying the people that support you and being honest about the ones that don't will provide key insights into how to make positive changes. It is also important to understand how to deal with people that don't support your changes. More to come on this in the resilience section. One important thing to consider is that often a lack of support from others comes from their own insecurities and not wanting to lose you as a peer. Chapter 4. Maintaining Mindset Discipline. In the context of maintaining mindset discipline, learning and growth are ongoing, lifelong processes. At its core, consistent learning and growth is about the continual expansion of knowledge and the opening of new doors of possibility. This can be achieved in many ways. A particular offshoot of learning is increasing self-awareness. Self-awareness is a deep understanding of oneself. An understanding of moods, desires, what causes stress or happiness, and how all these things affect behavior and mindset. In understanding what drives behavior and mindset, it becomes easier to direct both down desired paths and avoid deviation into unfavorable states. Knowledge of psychology is often helpful in increasing self-awareness. This also brings us to the broader topic of knowledge in understanding human behavior. A deeper understanding of why people act the way they do, including oneself, is valuable in dealing with others and the situations life presents in a rational and controlled manner. When used constructively, learning about past mistakes is an effective tool for preventing their future recurrence. In the quest to improve mindset discipline, it is often required to make changes in current behavior and thought patterns. This is not an easy task, but armed with the underlying belief in the ability to change one's own self, a belief stemming from the optimistic mindset discussed earlier, and a plethora of knowledge how behavior is formed and changed, it becomes an attainable goal. Too important to be left as a mere afterthought, learning is the cornerstone of continuous mindset discipline improvement. The process of developing and maintaining mindset discipline is not an easy one and is often fraught with setbacks and failures at various points. The ability to persist through such hard times is a characteristic commonly found in those with strong mindset discipline. This trait, often referred to as resilience, can be developed and strengthened through various means. The military's SERE, survival, evasion, resistance, escape, school is an example of extreme resilience training. Though the resilience cultivated in such adversity is quite strong, simple failures in everyday life present ample opportunity to practice strengthening this trait. The mindset with which one approaches a failure is critical in how it affects future behavior. Failure is not a permanent condition, but rather a temporary and correctable one. Failure does not devalue a person's worth, but doing nothing to rectify and learn from the failure often will. An error only becomes a mistake if one fails to correct it. By learning to view failure in a more constructive and less damaging light, the occurrence of setbacks and their effects on mindset discipline can be lessened. This is not to say that failure should be sought out, but the recognition and understanding that it is a natural part of the development process is a healthy viewpoint to take. The journey toward developing and maintaining mindset discipline often feels like a solitary one. However, the company and support of others can play a crucial role in staying motivated and on the path to better mindset discipline. It is important to surround oneself with people who have similar goals and want to achieve a higher standard of living. If the people with whom you are closest are satisfied with the status quo and have no desire to improve on their current situation, it will be exceedingly difficult to avoid the social pull of joining them. Aligning oneself with a group or community of individuals who share similar goals and standards will create an environment of understanding and encouragement. The transmission of positive energy and reinforcement from others can serve as an excellent motivational tool in tough times. By being part of a supportive social network, it is much more difficult to justify giving up, and it becomes easier to stay focused and on the right path. Developing resilience. It is your ability to bounce back from rejection, failure, adversity, and even positive experiences that can unwittingly hold you back and prevent you from achieving your greatest potential. To be resilient means to keep on the top of your game, to be at your best, to live life to the fullest, and to invest time and energy into what you find exciting, as well as to spend time on that which is effective. Resilience is not some magical quality. It takes mental work to transcend hardship and cultivate the ability to bounce back from adversity. Learn to regulate and manage your negative emotions, or you'll be driven to avoid the things that evoke them and will suffer personal and professional consequences. Resilient individuals experience all the emotional pain that comes after a traumatic event, but their mental outlook allows them to confront the event head-on and work through the problems it has created, rather than to avoid it and suffer later. Resilience frequently leads to an increased sense of self-worth and control over one's destiny. Resilient people feel competent to take on new tasks and challenges and be effective in their dealing with the problems and adversity that life presents. This is, they have confidence in their ability to think through and make sound decisions, an ability that's often bolstered by optimistic thinking. Finally, resilience carries an air of open-mindedness and flexible attitudes towards change. The thought here is if one thing doesn't work, then try something different. The ability to be adaptable in one's problem-solving behavior in order to discover effective solutions is key in dealing with failure or adversity of any kind. Continuous learning and growth. It is important to seek challenges and venture outside of the comfort zone in order to facilitate learning and growth. It is often easy to avoid uncomfortable or difficult situations, but doing so will hinder the potential progression of mindset discipline. Seeking challenges will develop mental strength and endurance, just like lifting weights will strengthen muscles. This will allow overcoming obstacles to become easier in the future and will raise confidence in the ability to maintain mindset discipline. This is also essential in preventing mental regression caused by a break in mindset discipline. Growth achieved through learning lessons and mistakes is not permanent and can be lost by reverting back to the previous mindset and behaviors. Eclipse of the previous standard of mindset discipline will seem uncomfortable, and some may even view it as a disruption of identity. Comfort zones are essentially set ranges of mindset and behavior where a person feels comfortable and identifies themselves with. Stepping outside comfort zones, especially the original intent of mindset change, can cause feelings of anxiety, frustration, and even anger, as it will feel unnatural and not in character. Failure to resist such internal pressures and relapse to the previous mindset will be further detrimental to discipline. This is about constantly self-developing and using hardship, mistakes, and criticisms as lessons to do better in the future. This is an essential part of mindset discipline. Without ongoing learning and growth, it is difficult to maintain discipline over mindset. Learned lessons from continuous learning and growth should be used to continually improve mindset discipline. An example is someone who suffers from a short temper and learns to control their anger. Now, there will inevitably be situations that will test their control over anger, and there may be times when they fail to control their anger. A person using continuous learning and growth will take these instances as lessons to improve further and prevent recurrence in the future. An individual who is not committed to learning and growth may simply see failures as being incapable of change and a regression to the previous state, and this may be detrimental to their mindset and cause them to give up on change in behavior. Chapter 5. Applying mindset discipline in different areas. Personal relationships are the most frequent interactions that an individual undergoes. They play a highly substantial role in a person's journey through life. It is not always an easy road when involving oneself in relationships, and often it can be quite challenging. Applying mindset discipline will allow a person to make better choices to maximize a positive return from the relationship. In relationships, there are often decisions involving emotional influences. Applying mindset discipline will allow a person to make a more rational decision which will be better in the long run, even if it isn't the most positive outcome at the time. It will also allow a person to take more responsibility for their actions in relation to the other person, and will help avoid conflict by preventing impulsive decisions and comments. It is important to acknowledge that positive relationships often play a significant role in a person's emotional state. By using mindset discipline, a person can be more reliable, supportive, and consistent with the other person, ultimately creating a more positive and stable relationship. The goal for most people in relation to career development is to maximize their financial state and have a job that they feel comfortable and happy in. Applying mindset discipline will help make better decisions that will create a long-term and positive outcome. It will also allow a person to be more focused and efficient in their work, which may result in further financial reward. A common problem for people is not enjoying their job, and often this is because they have not made a conscious decision on what career they want to pursue. With mindset discipline, an individual can take time to plan out their career path and make rational decisions that will step them closer to their ideal job. This may also be useful for people in making a career change. Often there are financial sacrifices involved, however, with a more thought-out plan, the change can be made smoother and result in a better long-term outcome. Mindset discipline in personal relationships. This will be difficult at first, but over time, it will get easier and the quality of your relationship will improve. The most effective ways of doing this are 1. Guarding and protecting your thoughts about the relationship. 2. Aligning your emotions and actions with the type of partner you want to be. You can start practicing mindset discipline by asking yourself 2 questions about your particular relationship. What do I want to think and feel? And what would be the most effective way to achieve this? It is possible to learn to control your mind and take full responsibility for the quality of your own life at present, regardless of the external circumstances. The epitome of this can be achieved by understanding the meaning and inside job. However, using mindset discipline in personal relationships is effectively taking control of your own thoughts and doing the best thing for yourself. Personal relationships can be complex and challenging. The relationship scenarios can change depending on the partner's moods and conditions. For example, if someone is abusive, they can sometimes change and you will feel like the relationship is good, but then it can swing back into the abusive behavior. You might feel that the value your partner puts on the relationship is different from the value you are putting in. You might feel out of control in the relationship and dependent on the other person. You may also feel that the relationship is worth putting time into. This can all change on a weekly basis, and having the discipline to maintain a healthy mindset throughout and doing what you think is right by you is difficult. Mindset discipline in career development. A career, no matter how advanced, is influenced by its starting point. It is determined by the psychological and physical strengths that are present at the beginning of a career, and in drastic contrast is limited by weak-mindedness or the lack of self-discipline. However, it is never too late to cultivate a powerful mindset. The discipline of mindset is an ongoing process, and as long as there is a willingness to change, important adjustments can be made. This growth in mental strength will enable a person to set their sights on higher goals and make more ambitious steps towards reaching them. It is this mindset discipline which is the key to success in career development. At an early stage, a negative mindset will lead to failure in making decisions which are critical for advancement. For example, anxiety or fear of failure often inhibits people from leaving their comfort zone and taking on new challenges with uncertain outcomes. Failure to do so usually stunts potential growth. If there is a fear of failure, it is not uncommon for people to set easier goals which are within their reach. While success in reaching these goals may boost self-esteem, in the long run it serves as a consolation prize because the person knows within themselves that they could have achieved more. This creates a feeling of dissatisfaction and a sense of being underachieved. In contrast, a person with a strong mindset will be more rational and confident, weighing up the pros and cons and making calculated risks in order to reach for what they really want to achieve. Failure to achieve these goals may be disappointing, but it will not break their spirit. This is because they realize that the journey has been a learning experience and the decision-making process has been an investment for future opportunities. It is these kinds of people who are resilient and quick to recover from failure. They are the type who employers seek out to employ and promote. Mindset discipline in health and wellness. Exercising is an area where many lapse in their initial intentions to increase their levels of physical activity. Athletes have an advantage as structured training schedules and the expectations of others often override their own personal inclinations to avoid exercise. For the average person, increasing exercise requires a change in the way activities are perceived, generally from being something that is an enjoyable pastime to being an integral part of the day that is necessary for maintaining health and well-being. The change in perception requires a change in mindset, and it is this change that must be maintained with mindset discipline. Our health and well-being is greatly influenced by our habits, actions, and lifestyle choices. Most health research focuses on cognitions actions, and the development of new habits. There is no doubt that developing new health behaviors requires change. Change is a difficult process and often requires individuals to persist through feelings of failure and the experience of lapses. Developing mindset discipline is what will keep a person persisting with a health goal or behavior, despite how difficult it is to implement. Chapter 6. Conclusion. The development of mindset discipline needs a lot of effort to recognize and understand. The purpose is to help people who have issues and do not know how to overcome them. This could also be a guide for everyone who has a willingness to improve their life quality in various aspects. Mindset discipline is not made overnight. It takes time before someone can change their mind into a better mindset. There is no instant way to download this guide into your brain and suddenly have discipline in your mindset. The real way is to keep learning, remembering, and trying several times, just like normal learning. I also didn't write this piece in one session. My writing skills have been developed from several previous writings, and I am still learning to be better. But if you could consistently do this, you would get a better result that could change your life forever. Recap of mindset discipline principles. Set specific, long-term goals. This principle is the starting point of the path to quality. Empowerment is tied to a clear meaning of what an individual is trying to achieve. There are no shortcuts to excellence. Commitment to the goal provides the discipline to stay focused on the task and the direction to make the right steps along the path. With clear goals, every action taken can be assessed as to whether or not it is helping to move toward the desired end. Step 1 is to make sure goals are well-formed. A well-formed goal is one that is very specific. The more specific, the better. A specific goal will have a clear outcome that can be visualized. Wrong way. I will improve my game. Right way. I will increase my first serve percentage by 10%. A clear outcome is measurable. With a measurable result, it will be very obvious whether the goal has been achieved, which is important in providing a sense of satisfaction and completion. A clear goal also needs a time frame. A goal to increase fitness is all well and good, but without an indication of how much fitness is enough, one can never be sure when the goal has been accomplished. Lastly, a goal needs to be realistic. While it is good to have high goals, if the goal is too far out of reach, then there is no clear path to accomplishing it. This will cause nothing but discouragement when the goal is never met. Encouragement for developing mindset discipline. It is well known that mindset discipline is an ongoing process for each person. Positive changes are likely to be somewhat subtle, and will no doubt occur slowly at times. It is important for people developing mindset discipline to learn to be patient and resilient. Changes in mindset are likely to involve 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Just as an American football team doesn't get penalized for progress so long as they stay in bounds, all effort has some value and is part of the process. This is where patience is so important. If someone slipping back into a negative or destructive mindset makes a commitment to learn from that experience and avoid making the same mistake in the future, that is still progress. Similarly, there will be times when a person feels they have mastered mindset discipline, only to find themselves reverting to old negative patterns. This is not a sign of failure, but merely an indication that more work is needed. The person who simply wants better results from their mindset will still be influenced by the same desires to comfort themselves or escape from reality that contributed to negative mindsets in the past. The difference is now they are able to recognize when it is happening and will feel guilty, knowing that the method they are using is not conducive to the desired psychological outcome. This guilt is a sure sign that a person's mindset is now more disciplined. At this point, they must learn to forgive themselves, make a conscious decision to abandon the negative method and find a more self-affirming alternative. This process is an advanced skill in mindset discipline and takes a strong commitment to positive change.
If you found this content enriching and valuable, we would be deeply grateful if you could express your appreciation through liking and subscribing. Your support is incredibly meaningful and enables us to continue creating content that resonates with you. For those who think this is a great gift for yourself or for your loved ones, you can find the link in the description.